Orioles.
Holy shit, Kevin!
Wow. What?
You get this only nowhere else but the Kevin is after that. Kevin, I'm not gonna lie.
Now we're look at this. A carved penguin. There it is.
Oh no. Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
I think I was so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back.
What?
Oh my
Wait, what's going on? What is happening?
What is going? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the ball.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Bird Fish!
How about that?
Bird Fish fans, stand up! We did it!
What can I say? What can I say?
That escalated quickly. I mean, that got out of hand fast. I mean, we knew the bullpen was going to be rough after you get rid of Sir Anthony, you get rid of Gregory Soto, you get rid of Andrew Kittredge, Bautista goes down. You knew the bullpen was going to be rough, but I mean, it was rough. It was rough. It was rough to say the least. Suddenly, you're in the bottom of the sixth inning. It's a 3-3 game. Kade Povich is going pitch for pitch with Jesus Luzardo. You're feeling great about how things are going. Kade looks good in his return back from the IL. Rio Muto reaches on an infield single. You pull Kade Povich. I still do not understand. Pull Kade Povich with 2 outs at 90 pitches. I mean, you gotta let Kade Povich get out of that. Next thing you know, you bring in Corbin Martin. He doesn't record a single out. You look up and suddenly it's, what was that? 11? Was it after? Yeah. 11-3. I don't get why you pull Kade there, especially in the position that the Orioles are in. It's not necessarily about winning ball games. It's about giving confidence and building on momentum. If they said 90 pitch limit tonight for Kade coming off the IL, I get it. That's about the only reason I would get it. But I just, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for Kade because you feel like he's doing so well. I mean, listen, if you're 3 runs given up going into the 6th inning are off of 2 home runs by Harper and Schwarber, that happens. That happens, and trust me, I see the comment in the chat about bringing Schwarber to Baltimore. I'll get into that because that's someone that the Orioles need to serious. I don't know. Don't know if he leaves Philly. I think he's pretty entrenched there, but man, if he gives you the opportunity, you need to pay for a guy like Kyle Schwarber. He's exactly what this team needs. It's also talk about kind of like the Nelson Cruz of 2012, where you have this young, fun lineup, add a veteran bopper. Add a veteran bopper that can come in there and just hit 50 homers. Just go get a guy like that. I mean, overall, before the sixth inning, it wasn't bad. In fact, it was, I mean, Kade Povich, let's say he gets, they bring in Kade, they let him complete, he gets the next out. 6 innings of 3-run ball against this team. I would be feeling better about that. But they pull Cade and all hell breaks loose. I mean, that was a very, very, very tough one. Very tough one. As soon as you felt like you were making progress, as soon as you were thinking you were making progress. So tough one. As soon as the Orioles get to that bullpen, we knew this bullpen was going to be just Band-Aided together is one way to put it. What you think Yennier Cano is one of the only guys, Keegan Aiken, that you actually feel good about in that bullpen, and even those two you don't really feel overly confident in. I mean, Corbin Martin, don't know how much longer he's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a revolving door for the rest of the season. When you trade away 4 or you trade away 3 of your best relief pitchers and then lose your closer to injury, we are going to make it together. How many games do they have left? They're 113 and 49 games to go. So, I mean, you look at the pitching. I've said this before. The scoreboard's the scoreboard. They're going to lose games. They're going to lose a lot of games, especially with this bullpen. They're going to lose a lot of games going forward. Scoreboard's not necessarily what matters right now. It's about development. I'm pretty happy with how Cade pitched overall. Obviously, he's going to want those pitches to Schwarber and Harper back, but I mean, hey, they're some of the best at it. They're 2 of the best power hitters in the game. They're going to get theirs. That happens. Bullpen, you just shake your head because this is what we get. What happens when you trade 9 players? When you trade 9 players at the deadline, so development-wise, you're okay with Cade. You take that. Going to the lineup, Holiday 0 for 4, not his best game. Westberg with a homer. That was cool. All he does is produce. It was fun for a little bit. Like, that's what sucks is we were having fun for a little bit in this game. Like, all of a sudden, Adley's using the whole field. General Soreness himself, Tyler O'Neill, 2-run shot. Jordan Westberg adds on with a homer. Guys were getting on. I mean, at one point they were out hitting the Phillies, I know 5-3. Then you look up, it's the Phillies go literally 10 unanswered hits. And 10 unanswered runs. Actually, no, it was 12. 12 unanswered runs. Orioles up 3-1 in the third. Phillies scored 12 unanswered. Not going to win a lot of ball games with that. Adley Rutschman has 7 doubles since coming back. This is the Adley Rutschman that we remember. This is the Adley Rutschman that helps them win ball games, that came up in 22 and through the beginning part of 24 was kind of the centerpiece of this lineup. The team goes as Adley goes. And I don't think it is, with Adley, I don't think this is just, he came back and got hot. He looks so much more fluid up at the plate. He moves so much better. It looks so much more natural again. He's using the entire field. It just feels like Adley, something clicked again. Just feels like something clicked again, yet another double. So Well, yeah, I mean, the bullpen absolutely blows the game. 10 unanswered from them. Uh, that sucks, but at the end of the day, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson 1 for 3, Westy with the homer. You want to see those guys continue to just play well, build momentum for next year. Even Kobe Mayo, opposite field single. Yeah, I mean, it was fun for a minute. Even tonight, like they have spurts of being fun. Like when Westbrook hit that homer, and I was like, man, yesterday, Ryan Noda coming up, tying the game. You're like, awesome. They're getting the fun part. They're like fun for like 2 innings at a time recently. And then they get a massive reality check back to earth, and it just crushes your soul. Like it's never like it's like yesterday, perfect example. Big, oh my gosh, Orioles, Ryan Noda first at bat here. He's got the single. Hey, we're having fun, tied game. This is so cool. We're playing with one of the hottest teams in the league. This team's gritty. They're having fun again. Justin Turner, absolute nuke. 10 the game. And you're like, okay. It gets, and then you have tonight through 6 innings. It was pretty fun. Like the Orioles were in it. This wasn't like, the Phillies were dominating the whole game. It was just the Orioles had the upper hand for a while in this game. Kade pitching well, dotting the edges, going pitch for pitch with Luzardo, finding ways to get out of situations, 7 strikeouts. He looked good. And then just like that, it all blows up in your face. And when I say blows up in your face, I mean literally 10 runs blows up in your face. It's tough. That's tough. If you're new to this channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Kevin and Zach React go live after every single Orioles game, win or lose. But I see this 2026. Talking about 2026. Well, one guy we will not be seeing, we know, until potentially 2026 is Grayson Rodriguez. If you did not see Grayson Rodriguez, let me pull up exactly how it is or exactly the procedure, because I don't want to get it wrong. So Grayson Rodriguez will have elbow surgery and miss all of 2025. So I looked it up. It is some sort of, I think it's what Danny Coulomb got last year. It's to clean up and take particles out of the elbow. Debridement, probably said that wrong, procedure. So at this point, it's, I think, 2 to 6 months recovery time. Maybe he's there in time for spring training. But my biggest thing is just get Grayson on the mound somehow next year. Like Grayson needs to be on the mound next year. Like they got to find, something's got to happen, because you can't rely on him. And it's hard to say that, if he misses, let's say something doesn't go well and he misses even more time in the next year, we're going to be pulling up on 2 years since we've last seen Grayson Rodriguez pitch on a mound. It's not great. It's not great, especially for a guy that you have such high hopes for, and you've seen the talent there. When Grayson is on, I know I bring it up because it feels like talking about, the old Andy Bernard in The Office. I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you left them. Last June, when you had Corbin, you had Grayson, you had Kyle Bradish, Orioles looked like they had 3 aces. They were all pitching like aces. You even have John Means in there pitching like an ace. Oh my goodness. I mean, when they were handing it off, passing the baton, that whole rotation was nasty. Was absolutely nasty. And Grayson Rodriguez was a big part of it. I mean, he's been a guy that he's gotten the ball during playoffs before. You trust him. And in a lot of ways, the Orioles, I think, were relying on Grayson to be the ace this year. They wanted Grayson Rodriguez to be the guy. You can't rely on that anymore. And it sucks. Like, you cannot sit back and pencil him in right now. You have to, if you get him back, great. But in your 2025 into 2026 offseason plans, you cannot be penciling in, oh, well, Grayson's a number 2 for us. You can't do that. That's how you ended up in this position, because you kept penciling in things that didn't happen. And then more things went wrong. And now suddenly you sit here and you're what, 50? What's the record? 51 and 63? What's the official record? 51 and 62. So I end up at 51 and 62 because you pencil in things that don't happen. They thought that Bradish would be back by now. They thought Grayson would be back to start the season. You cannot rely on Grayson Rodriguez next year until you see it. So in this offseason, if Grayson comes back, boom. If you didn't plan on in your plans for Grayson to come back, then he comes back. Now you just added a solid number 2. I think upside of being a number 2. It's a really good ad, but you cannot sit there and you cannot be Michael Elias and go, okay, our top 3 are Bradish, Grayson, and Trevor Rogers next year. That's how you can't just do it, because we have not seen Kyle Bradish is pitching again, but we don't know fully what he'll be. We'll get a sense at the end of this year, probably in the next few weeks. Grayson, you have no idea what he's going to be. You don't know if he's even going to be on the mound. Trevor Rogers, if he continues to do what he's doing right now, you have no clue if he continues, takes it over season to season. So it's a lot of, question marks there still. I still think of Framber Valdez, somebody, Michael King. You got to get a top-end guy. Got to get a top-end guy. You need to bring in a number 1. You bring in a number 1. You bring another number 3-ish in, maybe re-sign Eflin. Then you can start talking about a decent rotation once you add Bradish, potentially getting Grayson back, Trevor Rogers. Then you're talking about a decent rotation. But the biggest mistake the Orioles cannot do this offseason is try to rely on guys just being 100%. That's the biggest thing that they cannot allow themselves to get trapped into again, because we went into this year, I know I keep saying it, thinking Grayson would be the number 1. Now he's not going to pitch a single. He did not throw a single pitch in 2026. I mean, I get what people are saying, but I mean, they've brought in Corbin Burns before. They've made the moves with this regime. They just need to do it again. Whether it comes through trade, whether it comes through free agency, they need to go get a number 1. The biggest issue going into next season. They have to shore up the rotation. And now let's talk about it, because it is in your face, literally tonight. You got a lot of arms you got to get for that bullpen. You have a lot of arms that you need to get for that bullpen, because, okay, let's say Felix come back healthy. Say Cano's healthy. Let's say Aiken's healthy. Let's toss in Tyler Wells, because I think if everything goes well, I think he probably is in a bullpen hybrid role, because he has been in the bullpen before and knows how to do that. He's also been one of your better starters, 23? So you see what happens with that. But let's say those 4. That's 4 guys. 4 guys. You need a lot more than four guys. And Cano, as of right now, is not someone you can rely on. Keegan Aiken, he is up and down. When he's consistent, when he's going well, he's going well. When it's going bad, it's going really bad. So Tyler Wells, you don't know what he's gonna be like coming off of surgery. So a lot of question marks in that bullpen again. You've got to go out and you can't just rely on guys coming up. You got to go out and they're going to need to sign one or two good back end relievers. Cameron Foster, the guy you got from the Mets, he might come up and be a decent arm for you. You cannot rely on that. You cannot rely that guys below in AAA are going to come up. You can find the Matt Bowmans, you can find those fringe guys through waivers and stuff. You can do that, but they got to be making up the middle relief. You can't be trying to, we're going to waiver claim our way to a setup guy and to a closer, or to two setup guys and a seventh inning guy. Like you can't just rely on getting that much talent off waivers. You got to go get one or two guys that you can put in the sixth, the seventh, or the eighth in a big moment, and they're going to get you out, and then hand the ball to Batista. That has to be the plan going forward. Has to. So, if you're new to the channel, by the way, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm getting the Tankathon up. So, we got... There it is. So, the Orioles losing 2 straight, and actually the Pirates winning 2 straight. The Orioles can make some moves here. I'm not gonna lie. If they continue to tank with this bullpen, they could move pretty quickly into the top 3 odds. So let's get this Tankathon rolling. Number 1, we're gonna do 3 as always. Kansas City moving up 9. Let's see. Anyone down here? St. Louis. St. Louis fell as well, so good for them. Good for St. Louis. Nothing too crazy there. Let's reset it. All right, try number 2. I guess you were staying. Yes, staying number 5, Tampa. If Tampa does this crap and suddenly, they've lost 2 of their last 10. Tampa's on an atrocious run right now. Like the Orioles, if you look at it, I'll say this. I would have preferred, I'm okay with the Orioles have just being completely trashed to start and then have just kind of gotten to the point where you were like, okay, the season's over. They can't crawl out of this. Tampa Bay started out hot. They were leading wild cards. They were in it for the division. And then the fall off for them has been unreal. What is their record? The record last. Let's see this. Yeah, their last 30 games, they're 8-22. Let's see. That's unreal. 8-22. That's bad. I know the Orioles, obviously, no room to talk because they start out atrociously. Man, Tampa Bay gave you hope. They went out there, and if you're a fan of Tampa, you're like, okay, we did it again. We put out a bunch of guys, and we are just competing. We are fighting. We are scratching. We are clawing. We're the Tampa Bay Rays. Then you go on this just unreal fall, unreal slide. 8-22 on the last 30. Yeah, wait. So if they're 8 and they're 8 and What's the record? Oh wait, I just literally it's in front of me. 55. So they were. I don't have enough math to. So 36, and well, they were. Wow, they were 47 and 36. 47 and 36. Now they're 55 and 58. Well, let's do the last. We got to reset. And here's the final lottery of the night. So the 5 spots in our best spot. 6. That's awful. Arizona moving up 6. Baltimore falls to 6. Nothing else interesting. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, Tampa does that every year. They've never gone to a deadline clearly selling or clearly buying. It's just not what they do. They have just found this way every single season where they can't, they're either making a run for it and they half sell, half buy, or it's like this year where they started off hot and they're cooling down and they're like, yeah, we don't want to really go for it all this year, and they half sell, half buy. Tampa is just in a perpetual state of just never committing to going for it or rebuilding. Ugh. Tampa. Yeah, and yep. I mean, Tampa Bay may be cold, but they still found ways to beat us in that stretch. That's tough. That's tough. You just that's brutal. Brutal. Any updates as I go and look to see if we have any updates on the farm, down the farm from anyone? I'm going to put the call-in link in for channel members. So if you have anything you would like to say about this game, or just in general. I mean, there's not a lot of there is not a lot of good things to talk about. You know what? Let's try to find something positive. Do we have any sort of positive in any sort of way news from I'm literally, you can be like, oh, he's reaching to try to find so the Verge. Let's see if they've posted anything. No, all this is August 3rd. Damn. Bradish could be here fast. I think they probably have him go to. I mean, it's all up to him. It's all up to how he is, his comfortability and stuff, with his pitches. I don't I don't see them having him go because he's had 3 starts, 1 at each level in the minors. They probably go 2 more starts, I would think. I would say maybe 1. Maybe we see him mid-August. That could be it. We might see him in like 2 weeks. And yeah, Frederick Keys are coming back to be the high A team for the Baltimore Orioles. So that's fun. The Aberdeen Ironbirds are becoming a draft league. And at this point, I would not rush him back. Honestly, to me, Kyle Bradish, it's all about I would not have him throw more than 5 innings. Like, I don't care how well he's doing. I would not have him go this season. If it were up to me, I would have Bradish probably pitch 3-4 games of like 4 to 5 innings. get him back into the competitiveness of being on the mound in the majors, let him work through some things, gain some confidence back so he's not next year got the jitters of he hasn't been on a mound in over 2 years. But yeah, but you're not looking for Kyle Bradish to come in and throw a bunch of 7 innings, shutouts. He's not coming in to be your workhorse when he's back. I think this is one of those things where if you're dealing with Kyle Bradish, it is all about health. It is all about health and making sure he is healthy and confident rolling into next season. O'Verne getting promoted. He's another guy, Austin O'Verne. He's got before he got promoted, a 16-game on base streak down in Aberdeen. I actually called a game there with Michael Marcantonini. O'Verne, between him and George, the Orioles have a plethora of guys over the past 2 seasons who were not high draft picks that just keep hitting the cover off the ball. If you look at the Orioles, let's go to Orioles pipeline right now. So what? Dylan Beavers is your number 3. He was, I guess he was a first-round pick with your 33. Esteban Mejia was signing. Nate George was 16th round pick. He just got Bowman. Michael Ferret was a 14th round pick. Bragg was an 8th round pick. Trying to see who else. You go down, some of these guys that are really starting to. O'Verne, 3rd round pick in 2024. I know people love the number 1 pick, and we do the Tankathon, and who can the Orioles get if they get a top 5 pick? This is why I was talking about, with Slater DeBrun, with guys like that, you just got to take flyers. Like the MLB draft, more than any draft out there, is just lottery tickets. You're not going to see a majority unless you're the Angels or the Athletics, who have this thing where it's if you're drafted, you're going to get them into the majors within a year. You're probably not seeing guys for 2 to 3 years. So it's all a developmental thing. Look back at it. You see Jackson Holiday struggling, not great. And people be like, oh, well, that was the number 1 overall pick. One, he wasn't consensus. Actually, most people thought Drew Jones was. Drew Jones is batting like less than 200 in single A right now, and he can't stay healthy. That was the quote unquote can't miss guy of that draft class. Yeah, speaking of Big Al, Albert Suarez is maybe the most underrated guy that this team is missing, because he was just a bulldog who went out there and kept them in games and allowed them to compete and try to just win. Absolute gamer. Absolute gamer. Albert Suarez, I think his energy and just overall vibes are being missed. But Albert Suarez, when you talk about overall, Albert Suarez, I think people forget just how good he was in 2024. His final stats in 2024, he had a 3.70 ERA. Now, let me go to this. If you want to go by, guess who our qualified guys are. He'd be the number 1 for qualified players, that's for sure. Trevor Rogers. Really, it's just Trevor. Who's still on the team? Trevor Rogers and Felix Bautista are the only guys that would have a better ERA than him. Albert Suarez, missing him. Not having him is a big loss this season. Now, obviously, is Albert Suarez, if he was here, would that be the difference? Would the Orioles be magically on a playoff run? No. But they'd probably have 4 or 5 more wins. And if you had like 3 or 4 of those guys and you get 20 more wins, Then you can talk. Real quick, let's hop into our first call in. We got Arkansas Joe behind the scenes. Joe, how we doing?
Man, I took a nap, and next thing I know, it was 13-3. It was
Joe, I
3-3.
blinked, and next thing I knew, it was 13-3. I mean, it happened fast. It happened fast.
Kyle Schwarber. That's what the man does.
It is. That's why I would love him to be in Baltimore next year. I don't think he leaves Philly but that would be a guy I would.
Nick Moore had $5,000 for Kevin because he made it on the Raven Squad show tonight. So
Yeah, exactly. I guess I got to get my money up, Joe. I think that's what's got to happen. Oh, Joe, you there? Oh, I think we lost Joe for a second. Joe, if you come back, Kevin is also, for those wondering, Kevin is in a stream right now that I do not think he thought was going to be this long, and he is 70 minutes into his stream that Kevin thought this was going to be like a 30-minute stream. They're 80 minutes into it now. So, I think Joe's back. Joe, you there?
yeah, sorry. Shannon wanted to know why I left one dog behind. So
You
snooze, you lose. But yeah,
hey.
Nick made it to the Raven Squad show, so he must have gave Kevin $5,000.
It's the only way. It's the only way I can see it happening.
Did I lose you?
No, can you hear me?
Yeah. We're going to make it quick, though, 'cause I do have to go back and get the other dog. I just found it funny that Nick Moore made it to the Raven Squad show before Zach Bollinger.
I guess I just gotta go out there and play on the Ravens now. That's the only way.
And Kevin got him before Ryan did this year, so
Yeah, I know. Nick's doing his thing. He's not coming easy. I don't know what we did to him, man, but
they got GoPros and TrackMan for special teams
yeah,
now. That's
it's
cool,
getting intense. They are using everything. I mean, they're trying to make sure Tyler Loop and the boys are ready for anything.
Yep, but I do have to go back and get the other dog now.
Awesome. Joe, you be safe. You have a fantastic Monday night, and we'll catch you next time.
We'll see you later.
Awesome. Peace out, Joe. And let's keep it rolling. We got Steven behind the scenes. Steven, you there? Nope, I think I lost Steven for a minute. Is the internet issue me? Oh, I think Steven's back. Steven, you there?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my guy?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Orioles are not, but then again, after that deadline, what much can you expect? So,
that's what I keep telling myself. I'm like, man, these guys, I can't be upset because when I look at them, I'm like, this is not the team that I thought was going to be out there.
yeah, well, we want to say injuries, but the more you think about it and sit back and think, it's just, well, maybe that's just who they are this year. Because there's a lot of folks that are saying, oh, hey, this is just a blip on the radar. We'll get it back next year. There's a lot of folks who cover Orioles baseball. Because I think the greater industry is way more just like, well, we need to see you guys prove it. Because we haven't seen you guys prove it in over 40 years. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're going to have to prove that this isn't a blip, especially when it comes to young players. I mean, this isn't like Bryce Harper's. These aren't these veteran teams that go through a slump and you're like, hey, they'll bounce. These are young guys that you have to be like, okay, is this the blip or was 23, started 24, was that them overachieving? Where is it? So it is not a guarantee, no, that they get back to what they were. And that's why I think if you're Michael Elias and them, you have to go in on this offseason and try to really fill every hole that you possibly can find to make this team as ready to win with veterans and all as possible. Build around this young core, but don't leave it up to them. That's why I say maybe add a big bat, someone to take some pressure off guys. So it's not the Kobe Mayos, the Sam Basayos that have to be the big bat.
I agree with most of that, but the part where I am going to stand firm on is I think there may be one too many holes to fill for next year. You just,
That could be.
I want to hurry back. True. It's just you did the right thing at the trade deadline, but I also think you kind of, it's just you have one too many holes in the bullpen to fill next year. And the fact, I'm going to go back to what Eno Sarris said on Rates and Barrels like a few months back and said it's kind of crazy to him that the Orioles don't have a guy they've developed in their bullpen.
Yeah. I mean, technically you had Bautista, but besides him, Cano technically came over from – it's been a lot of guys that have been journeymans that have found their way here.
Yeah, it's – and that I'd love to see if Trevor Rogers, if this is a blip. We're talking about young players. It's like, where's the blip? And I think 2023 was the right combination of dudes at the right time. Yeah. And you got to figure out, like, is it – you gotta if you're Mike Elias, you got to think hard because it's, one, your job's on the line this offseason. There's no question about it. So where you draw the line, what you got to figure out is, was it the years we were really successful? Was it more veterans or was it more – you got to find the right mix.
Yeah.
And I also think my thing was I don't think it mattered what we did at the deadline because I think you have to nail this next managerial hire. And I also think you can't sit back and let him pick his own coaches because your future as a GM is on the line here. So if he doesn't nail it, it's not on him, it's on you.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Do you think – so I got a real question real quick. Do you think Mike Elias lets whomever we can get as next manager pick his own guys, or do you think Mike Elias has a bigger hand in it than he should?
I would like to think it. Actually, I'll be honest. It depends who they hire. If they hire a young guy like a Ryan Flaherty, like a younger guy with less experience, I think Mike Elias is gonna be very much in the room picking guys and kind of being a little bit too much in the room. But if it's a veteran who, the kind of old school manager who's like, hey, we do this how I say, that kind of thing, which I don't know if the Orioles and like Mike Elias want, I think he's going to bring in his guys. So I think if they go with a more veteran guy, I think he's going to be the kind of guy who steps in and is like, hey, I'm bringing in the guys that I want.
I agree. I definitely think that's what the industry thinks too. If you've listened to anything Jim Bowen said, or say Jeff Passan, Buster Olney, and the Baseball Tonight crew, and even Ken Rosenthal, they're like, hey, we're hearing that the industry doesn't really trust Mike Elias to hand over the reins to whomever he picks as manager. In short, they think he's too micromanagey to be a really effective GM. And I kind of wonder, do you think that hampers who we can get as a GM or a manager at all?
Yeah, I think it could. I definitely think it could. I could see it playing a role in a guy if he feels like, especially if he feels that the GM is going to be kind of in his business more than he should be and making calls that he wants to make. I could very much see if a guy doesn't see eye to eye, him being like, I don't want to be here. And honestly, Michael Elias being like, I don't want that here. So I think they're going to have to find a balance. I would like for Michael Elias to give up, and just overall, not just Elias, that whole analytics team, the whole front office, kind of being in the day-to-day stuff and making in-game decisions and their philosophies. I would like to go a little bit more old school. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the way to go. But Steven, appreciate talking to you as always, my guy. You have a great one, and we'll catch you next time.
Go Orioles.
Go Orioles, man. Awesome. And Blake, appreciate you. Ready for the season to be over at this point. I think a lot of people are on that boat. Still a fan through and through, but I have no faith. Yeah, I don't think you're alone. You know, players underachieved to a point, but you set them up to fail. Yeah, I don't think they had enough depth. I think for a while, I think honestly the rotation depth wasn't horrible, but they didn't get a frontline guy. You know, they had a lot of guys that could step in and be bodies, but they didn't have guys that could really replace Corbin Burns in that. I don't think it is wrong in the slightest to say that this team was failed being put together, and that's why it sucks for a guy like Brandon Hyde. He wasn't the one who put this rotation together, who had to try to patchwork the bullpen at times, especially early on. I mean, they didn't have Kittredge. Bautista could only pitch like once a week. It wasn't easy. And, I think that led to him. So, yeah, I think guys have underachieved, but I also think it's a combination of guys underachieving, and the team just wasn't – there weren't enough veterans, I don't think. I still would love to see them get a veteran, clubhouse leader, but it's going to be – this offseason is going to be huge. I think everyone can agree, hot seat in Baltimore. And I think there's more to say. There's more to come, and they better get it right, or the Orioles will be looking for a new GM in 2027. But that's going to do it for this edition of Kevin and Zach React. It escalated quickly. If you want to check the score, you can go check it on your own time. I'm not saying it again. One team had a lot, the other had a little, and it was frustrating because for a while they were tied. So do with that information what you will. Everyone have a great, fantastic Monday. We'll be back tomorrow as the Orioles take on the Phillies in Game 2. Who is officially on the mound? Let me check. Doing this smooth as ever. Okay, it's taking a minute. It's taking a minute. Dean Kramer on the mound. Of course he is. Need a win. Dean's your guy. We'll talk after the Orioles game tomorrow. Have a great night. Go Birds, baby. Andrew Kittredge.